How close is Jnr Max going to be in 2022? Well, get this. The Super Final has some big names missing. Sophie Kinghorn, Lucas Jex, Dylan Mackay, even Lloyd Hare and Bella Franklin didn't make it, and we thought they were going to after their strong showing in the weekend. So, here is the grid for the Super Final. Gabe Fairbrother and Henry Beaumont on the front row of the grid from Ethan Simmons and Charlie Hart. Pearson Bullock-Carter and Ted Bradbury from Stephen Duncan and the Charmander. Watch out in the top 10. Just behind them, you've got Alfie Briggs. He's a circuit specialist, as is Archie Clark, who knows his way here very well indeed. Reza Sawarathan has been very strong over the weekend, and Harrison Crowther and Aditya Kulkarni not expecting to be that low down. Let's go racing, up to the first corner, and a cracking start from the front of the grid. Our cameraman this time is Archie Clark, who has motor racing very much in his veins. His grandfather is one of the greatest rally drivers of all time. Up to the first couple of corners of the lap then, and we're on board with Ewan Charman on the visor cam as he tiptoes his way through. This is how much G-force and adrenaline is pumping through your veins as you are rocking around these apexes. Archie Clark on the inside into Ashby. He's picked off about 3 or 4 cars, made that 5, 6. There's contact. 2 wheels in the air from one of the hunters. I think that was Gustav Uzakov going slightly airborne. Ewan Charman getting through, and that is good enough, I do believe, for, is that 3rd or is that 4th, because we've got Fairbrother a long way out in front. Simmons is next up for sure as they come through the toe of the boot. It is very fast and frenetic. That is Stephen Duncan battling away there with Ted Bradbury, so they come through together.
The timing is telling us that Gabe Fairbrother, Ethan Simmons is leading. Gabe Fairbrother though is not even in the timing.
No.
Gabe Fairbrother on the 2 car is definitely leading.
That's Clark and Rippin both picking off a place there from Leo Purchase. So nicely handled there from Archie Clark, and he makes the gap wide enough so that Leo Rippin can get through there as well. There's Fairbrother, he's your leader. Simmons, Pearson Bullock-Carter, and then it is the 42 of Charman from the 53 of Bradbury ahead of Stephen Duncan and Reese Lomax. We've still got a big quality of drivers in the grid. You've got Kerr, Hart, Beaumont, Clark, Rippin, Usakov, Purchase, Ticehurst, Cooper, Baker, Cooper and Alfie Briggs. So they are an absolute wash of talent as they come through. Had a fine lady along Manyor's bank and up into Christmas. It's very close. Here's Ted Bradbury. He's been one of the stars of the weekend so far. Been very impressed with Ted Bradbury. He really has raised his A game, and he's going to come through on the inside of Charman. Textbook, easy to get that wrong, and he didn't. This is what it felt like on board from Charman. He skates through, shuts him down on the exit, and Charman has a quick look over his shoulder just to see if anybody else is going to pick it up as well, and they didn't. Back on board with Archie Clark, taking it 1 kart at a time as he closes up on his next man. That's Henry Beaumont. So Henry Beaumont is the kart in front of him, and he wants to try and reel him in as quickly as possible. Great racing in the middle of the pack as well. Behind Clark, you've got the likes of Ticehurst, Baker, Briggs, Cooper again, because it's Jack and Leighton. And then you've got Harrison Crowther, who is charging his way through from the back of the field. Here goes Joe Rippin on the inside, launches in. What a slingshot. Excellent overtake into Christmas. And now they are going to have a little bit of pressure from this man. Hello, boys. Here comes Gustav Uzakov. That'll do nicely on the inside. And he moves up into Ashby and takes over the place. The Hunter Motorsport team making big waves here this weekend.
Regular viewers of the Ultimate Karting Championship will remember the crash that Gustav Usakov's had at Wigan a couple of seasons ago at the end of the season.
I think he just got the move on Beaumont. Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, he did. And I'm not sure how many views that clip has had now. It's something like 4 or 5 million, something like that, but it was one of the biggest crashes we've seen for years.
Isn't it funny? You go viral in the worst possible ways. I still go viral for that front fairing being thrown at that bloke as my bit of commentary, and for some reason, that's the thing I'm most famous for. It's not quite what I would have chosen. Up to the hairpin at Christmas, and that's a lovely move on the inside there from Harrison Crowther. He picks off another opponent. That is at the expense of Leighton Cooper. Now he's going to try and get away and stretch out the advantage. Well, it looks as though we've had a red flag here at Wilton Mill. The race has been stopped. We've had an incident at the first corner. So the field is going to be brought to the back straight, ready for a restart. It's involving Reg Haywood and Harrison Crowther. They have come off the course at Oblivion. That's the fastest corner on the circuit. So the race has been red flagged. Well done to the Orange Army. That was the right decision, because it looks as though Reg Haywood is in some discomfort.
Gabe Fairbrother doesn't like it, Jake. Gabe Fairbrother had this race in his pocket. He hates to see the red flag because there's going to be laps remaining.
Well done to the marshals. They have got Reg Hayward out. Really, really good to see him getting out there. That's a nasty place to go off the road.
I think we're going to have a lap under the Battenberg. We've had a lap under the Battenberg. We've got 4 laps remaining, and Fairbrother now is the target. He was well clear, but not anymore.
So now we go green, 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 and it is Gabe Fairbrother in front of Ethan Simmons as they go through turn 2, and Simmons is going to get out wide. And Simmons gets the gesture from Bradbury. Work with me. No, I can't because I'm losing more ground. Charman goes through into 3rd position. So now it's all down to Bradbury. Can he catch and pass Gabe Fairbrother? This is going to be very tight all the way to the finish. But can Bradbury get on terms with Gabe Fairbrother? Fairbrother leads the way. Bradbury in 2nd place. These are the 2 teams racing against each other here. Ultimate Art versus Sam Pollock Racing. And is Archie Clark going to be able to hold on to his position as he battles it out with Blake Ticehurst?
Now, Ted Bradbury was far enough behind. He wasn't going to be a problem to Gabe Fairbrother, but he had a lot of pace, as we know. Set the fastest lap just before the break. And that is a great move going through on the inside. Ticehurst takes that spot from Archie Clark. It looks like Clark might lose another one.
Yeah, Alfie Briggs is going to get his way on the inside, and his teammate very nearly joins him there. That was a very exciting run, but not for Archie Clark. He loses quite a few more positions than he was hoping to. These 3 have got well clear now. Fairbrother, Bradbury, Charman. We're back on board with Archie Clark. That is Alfie Briggs in front of us, and Briggs is going to pick off a few. Ticehurst runs out wide, manages to cut back in front of Beaumont. Briggs can't move forward, Clark can't move forward either.
Bradbury with the fastest lap. He's the fastest man on the track. He was the fastest man before the red flag, but he was miles behind the leader. Now he's the fastest man on track, but he's right behind the leader. In fact, the front 3 coming up, any one of these 3 now can win this.
A 4-lap sprint, and here comes Bradbury on the inside of Fairbrother. Now we're going to get them wheel to wheel. Fairbrother on the switcheroo, tries to cut back in. He holds on in front of Charman briefly, but Charman gets in a 2nd. No wonder Fairbrother was fuming at the red flag, because his massive lead is now nothing. Into 2nd place, he comes back on Ewan Charman. Now he's got to try and catch up to Ted Bradbury. Well, he had a massive lead. The red flags needed to come out, but at the expense of Gabe Fairbrother's dominant lead. And now Ted Bradbury is just a stone's throw away from picking up the win.
What a turnaround. Absolutely unbelievable, but that's the nature of things.
Look at the mechanics going bananas on the sidelines. Come on, Ted, you can do it. You can hold him off. He's got about 8 kart lengths on them.
He's done it. He is not going to lose it from there. That's too much of a lead as he sets another fastest lap. So Gabe Fairbrother, well, you got to feel for him. He had this race done and dusted after about 2 or 3 laps, and he just increased his lead with Bradbury behind, then setting the fastest lap. Then comes a red flag, and now this.
So Wilton Mill and the Ultimate Karting Championship gave us a 4-lap showdown. It's interesting, Formula 1 didn't. That is a technical flag for Ethan Bentley. So problems for Ethan Bentley, I'm afraid, to the end of the race, and it looks as though we've got a problem for somebody going off the road going into the final lap. But as you say, Ted Bradbury is well clear now of Gabe Fairbrother and Ewan Charman going into the last lap. Gabe Fairbrother must be sick to his stomach.
He will be, but he's highly experienced and he will know, well, let's hold on to 2nd. Let's not give away this 2nd place. Take the points moving forward, and we'll go forward to the next round, and we'll just take this on the chin.
Ted Bradbury's birthday and Christmas have come unbelievably early in the season here. That is an amazing steal in the first Jnr Max Super Final of 2022. There are yellow flags out for a car parked on the sidelines, so they can't even go for an overtake in the boot. So it is going to be a fascinating end to a brilliant race from Ted Bradbury. He celebrates with his team, 2 arms in the air. Bradbury takes the win in Wilton Mill. Absolutely astonishing as the field storms across the line. That is what a 4-lap sprint looks like at Wilton Mill to close out the weekend. That was remarkable racing and a great way to start UKC in 2022. Now this is a replay on board with Archie Clark. What happened to Blake Ticehurst out of the final turn? He is the luckiest man alive. How about that? He just misses going face first into the barriers on the final lap. Ted Bradbury picks up the win though from Gabe Fairbrother and Ewan Charman. Ethan Simmons, Pearson Bullock-Carter in the top 5, from Stephen Duncan and Rhys Lomax, Oliver Kerr, Henry Beaumont and Alfie Briggs. And look at that graphic, 7.5 seconds covers them all.
Well, excitement there in junior road tax. We had that incident involving karts down there at turn 2, which led us to the virtual safety car. Gabe Fairbrother led them out on the restart after that one, and it looked like he had it in the bag, but from nowhere, another overtaking incident somewhere out in track, which I didn't spot from the inside where I'm stood right now, meant that Ted Bradbury from Sam Pollitt Racing got himself out in the front and held it with about 3 laps to the finish. He's going to be through with that one. He was double fists in the air when he crossed the line. Let's go and find out what he had to say at the podium.
Ewan, great start to a championship season for you, 3rd place there, important points. Just talk to us a little bit about the race, particularly after the red flag.
Yeah, it was really good. Off the start we made up a few positions, and then during the middle of the race slowly made our way up to, I think we were 4th before the red flag, and then after the red flag, of course, it all bunched up. Made my way through to 3rd and kind of sat there for the rest of the race.
Do you think the red flag helped you in the end, go from 4th to 3rd, or do you think you might have got there anyway?
Yeah, it definitely helped me and assisted me in the move on Ethan Simmons.
Okay, and who are you thanking for your weekend?
I would like to thank Danny Sweeney, our Jnr Motorsport, and my mum and dad.
Gabe, massive lead in that race, and then came your Lewis Hamilton moment, the red flag, and then it all sort of went a little bit pear-shaped after the red flag. Just talk to us about that a little bit, because what a lead you had.
Yeah, well, we just started off the race really strong, got our head down, didn't look back, built a massive gap, team was saying well done, and I was like, just got my head down. And then unfortunately, 3 kids hit a wall, and then red flag happened, restarting the whole race. We restart the race, and then unfortunately we get overtaken, had to defend for 2nd, and that's all we could have.
When the red flag came out, was that a bit of a sinking feeling when you saw that?
When I saw that red flag, I was thinking they must have to end this race. That's it, 2 minutes left, they can't run it. And thoughts would go in, what happens if they do, and they did, so I was just devastated really. Okay,
but great start to the championship season for you anyway. I mean, you know more than anybody else here almost that it's about championship points, it's about consistency. 100%. So who are you thanking for your weekend?
I'd like to thank Ultimate R, my dad, my mum, Aidan, my mechanic, Ultimate R, and everyone who supported me.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
What were you hoping for this weekend when you came into the weekend? What were you hoping for?
Well, before this weekend there was a Wilton Mill Club round and we won that, so we had high hopes coming into it, but anywhere in the top 3 would have been good, but the main one, P1, would have been great.
Yes, fantastic for you. And as I always like to end these interviews, who do you want to thank?
Sam Pollitt Racing, especially Sam Pollitt and Lewis Brown. They're just making sure my car is always the best it can be, and making me a better driver all the time. And then my dad for mechanicking me, making sure nothing falls off. And my mum, my sister, and all my family.
Okay, well done.
Thank you.
A groundbreaking moment for Ted Bradbury, and now he's only 7 points adrift of the championship leader, Gabe Fairbrother. Ethan Simmons is in the hunt, as too are Pearson Bullock-Carter and Henry Beaumont, tied for 4th. Ewan Charman and Stephen Duncan are level for 6th. Charlie Hart, Rhys Lomax and Oliver Kerr are only a point apart, all in the top 10. Bring on the season battle in 2022. Junior Rotax is going to be electrifying.
Well, sadly, that's all we have time for from this, the opening round of the Ultimate Karting Championship. But oh boy, what a season opener it was. Join us next time then for round 2 when the action takes place up in the northeast from Warden Law near Sunderland. Until then though, from all of us here at Wilton Mill, see ya.